made it to Chirohustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. Before we dive into this powerful episode, please remember to subscribe to our channel and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes and continue hustling. This episode is sponsored by Imaging Services, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Moguls, Chiropractic Rocks, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, doTERRA, Sherman College of Chiropractic, New Patients in a Box, the Influencer Authority Podcast Training, and Prime Spine Consulting. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 324 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. I am your co-host, Luke Millette, and here's your host, Jim Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Lisel Lewis, and if you want to hear the story from athletics to professional chiropractor, stay tuned. All right, welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle podcast. Today I have Lisel Lewis with me, coming in from big city of LA, and I'm coming in from a small town on the western slope of Colorado called Grand Junction. And before we jump into episode 324, I just want to set some ground rules for everybody that watches our show. We do support subluxation-based chiropractic. We do protect the sacred trust, and we do support free speech in this beautiful profession of chiropractic. And with that said, Lisel, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I know Grand Junction. I think I've driven through there.
Yeah, it's pretty, right?
Yeah, gorgeous. Good name.
Yeah, it's it doesn't have a real like fancy name, so I'm sure a lot of people don't like come here to move here, but I came here just because it was peaceful and quiet.
That's the reason to move to Colorado for sure. Why would you want, any more than that?
Yeah, so that was 3 years ago. I can't believe I was just talking to you off camera about 10 years in Colorado now, and that's yeah, and I do these revelations every night, and I was like, I'm so thankful I have a choice to live where I want to, that it's a place that I enjoy.
That mobility is very unique. There are some people that, get stuck in one town, one city, and they'll never leave. And they're probably imagining Grand Junction and what that would be like.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's Austin like?
Yeah. What's LA like? Don't worry about what LA is like. Go to Grand Junction.
Well, Lisel, let's talk chiropractic. This is one of the things I love most about our show is I get a chance to talk to people about what they're fired up about and why they became who they are today, the big why. So let's hear that origin story, your chiropractic origin of how you became who you are today.
Thank you. Well, I played tennis for 17 years and I graduated college when I was 21, and I played tennis in college. I had so many injuries, and all they really told me to do was ice it and put E-stim on it, and then they just send me on my way. I looked for a chiropractor when I was in Idaho, but I didn't really put too much effort into it. So when I moved back to San Diego, where I'm from, thank God, one of my best girlfriends introduced me to a straight chiropractor, Dr. Ryan Hummel, and he sprinkled a seed in there. I had been to chiropractors in the past who also put ice and stem on me, but Dr. Ryan and Dr. Kristen Silver, they planted the seed. And maybe 3 years into all these very bizarre sales jobs that I had in San Diego, Dr. Kristen Silver, she was in school already. And she was about a year into school. She invited me to Cabo with 10 other chiropractic students. And I met them that week, and it was like, wow, these people are learning about the life that I already live and are now getting the evidence and getting the actual science behind all of these things. And so I thought, I want a lifestyle like that. And I started chiropractic school 3 months later.
What a cool story. Dr. Ryan, big shout out to him.
Thank goodness.
We talk quite a bit these days. So
Nice.
Really great guy.
Great. He's in, I think, Point Loma in San Diego.
Yep. Good dude. Played rugby at Palmer College.
Exactly.
So I was telling you off camera, that's like where my origin story starts. The Palmer rugby guys started my chiropractic career.
No kidding. Okay, small world. I remember he sold me a good quality fish oil, and it blew my mind that it was, I think, like $80, and I had to return it. I was so broke. I had to return my fish oil because I was like, I'm only familiar with this Walmart shit. I didn't know about quality supplements.
I know, like if people saw my shopping list on a month, like the supplements I have and the products that I use, most people wouldn't even, it would be so out of balance with most people's realities that we have to
Right.
spend so much to be healthy. But that's it. You went to Cabo and you learned about this chiropractic lifestyle.
Thank God for Cabo. Yeah.
But that's just it. It's like the chiropractic lifestyle is like, you got to think about what you eat. You got to think about what you read. You got to think about what you listen to, the
Right.
relationships you have, the time you spend doing things, like what's in your water, what's in
Right.
what's in everything.
Yeah, gosh, what's in your mind? Well, also, I was at an age where it was like I could either conform or I could stick to my own thoughts. And I was really, I thought I was a freaking weirdo for doing all these things, for having this like healthy lifestyle. And so chiropractic really showed me, nope, this is real, and there are other people that need your information.
I love it. And you, 5 years in now. That's really cool. So let's just talk about like the origin story of somebody new and they're just jumping out of school.
Oh my goodness.
And what would you first tell them to plug into, and what maybe some resources you would lead them to?
I guess it depends what their school situation was like. And if they really got a chiropractic education or if they got more of a textbook education. So I have 2 interns right now that go to LACC, Southern California University of Health Science. That's where I went. And they're not getting any chiropractic there. And so my first piece of advice to them is go to DCS, learn from Billy DeMoss, go to CalJam. If you have to do it online, whatever, do that stuff online. And then second piece of advice would be find a mentor in your town that actually lets you touch their patients, because I'm sure a lot of people are just kind of abusing their interns or abusing their associates or whatever.
Yeah, I think health within the workplace is really important. But you said something there, and it's building relationships and
Absolutely.
get to things that matter at any cost.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's virtual or in person, I think that it's really important. And just for anybody out there that doesn't know what DCS is, it's Dead Chiropractic Society. It's something that Billy DeMoss started out in Orange County. And if you guys don't know what CalJam is, go to caljam.org. You guys can check out the website over there. There should be a CalJam 2022 happening, which we were talking a little bit too. I'm really excited for Mary Jane and Billy D putting on a big shindig this year. Even if it's outside, we'll be there.
Cool. And for the young kids, they're on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you have to be in school online right now, well, then use it in the right way. Don't just be fiddling around on the computer.
Yeah, I think, it's important though. Like when you give advice to somebody that's like an upstart, like things change. Like I didn't know that TikTok took over Google. Like,
That's crazy. Okay. So TikTok took over Google.
Not took over,
Not
but
the
like
other way.
they're more popular now.
Right. Well, okay.
Like attention, like the attention's on TikTok, and it used to be Google.
If somebody's originally would be Googling, chiropractor in LA, now they're typing that into TikTok and then typing that into Instagram, chiropractor in LA.
Yeah, the search engines are shifting.
Yeah, they want to see a video of what they're looking for.
They want to meet the person.
30 seconds.
We were saying this a long time ago that the patient wants to meet you before they show up.
Good point. Some of them, they're like your fan because of your social media.
Absolutely. And if you don't build that connection with them, it doesn't speak their language. So video, like I started doing this 13 years ago. We were doing testimonial videos. We were doing technique videos. But I was like, if we don't have a presence of where we send a message to the new person with a video of you saying welcome, they're not going to know who you are.
Good point. And the length of time is really important because people don't have the bandwidth and they don't have the attention span for these like hour-long, even 15 minutes is too long, or too many words on your post. They're not going to read it. They want it to be 30 seconds.
I
They
know.
want their elevator speech.
I was listening to someone else and they were like, people have the attention span of goldfish.
Maybe shorter. Goldfish crackers, because they're not listening, especially I hate to say, my generation, it's like, and the generations coming after me, oh my gosh, it's like, are you even listening? You don't even look in my eyes, so you got 15 seconds.
I used to joke around, I'm not even kidding you, like 20 years ago, I'd be like, there's going to be a day where people hire me to come in and talk to their employees on how to talk to each other.
Okay, one of the most important books that I ever had was from Dr. Jeremy Brook. He gave me a book called, I think it was like, I have it in my library. It basically was, when you're talking to people, look them in the eye. Oh, it was about body language of when you're talking. And it's like, if you're not paying attention, at least look like you're paying attention. I mean, people, they want to relate to you. And if they have to do that online on your like Instagram, okay, use it.
So let's just bridge right into that. What's your go-to social media?
Instagram. I can't do TikTok. I don't want to. I hope I never have to. But Instagram is that short amount of time. You can get pretty personal. And I think if you do a good job of showing your actual personality on your private or your personal page, you'll get patients.
Yeah. So have you found that people come in as like super fans?
It's so cute. Yeah, it's adorable. And I don't even have a huge following, but I think I do a good job of portraying my actual personality on my Instagram and on my business Instagram. And so they come in and they're like, isn't that so weird though? Isn't it so weird though that somebody would like be something on social media that they weren't in person? I bet you that's the case for a lot of people. But when they meet you, if you're not what you portray online, then maybe they won't stick around. Well, I swear, probably everybody just thinks that all I do is 75 hard. They're like, all he does is interviews and works out. Okay, maybe that's all you do. Who knows? But I think that when people meet me, that I'm still the same person that they see interviewing people. I'm still the same person that shows up to places, right? That goes out with his friends and stuff like that. So yeah, I think one of the things I used to coach people on was being social on social. Yeah. And honestly, that's how I got Billy DeMoss's attention. Amazing. I was out of nowhere. Okay. I jump on Facebook. I didn't have a Facebook and I wanted to make a movie on chiropractic. This is 2015. I remember the movie. Yeah. And I was like, how can I do this? And I was like, well, who are the people that are making YouTube videos? So I went and found this crazy guy named Billy DeMoss. And I was like, this guy is the truth. All he does is tells people what they need to hear. Nothing more, nothing less. And I was like, he somehow has a crystal ball and he can see what's going on. So anyways, there was like a 2-week period. I went and shared something of his every day. Nice. And then he sent me a message back. He's like, hey, bro, just wanted to see what's going on. And I'm like, this is how you get an influencer's attention. Yeah. Yeah. And, they're wanting to make connections too, social media. It's like, if you're going to use it, like at least try and be personable enough to have somebody message you or have somebody, go to your link and actually make the appointment. Because if you're kind of scary, maybe they won't come to you. So I think that takes us to a really good transition. When you think about what people are posting, what do you think about people posting the adjustment? Because I remember 10 years ago, they were like, never do that. And now it's like the hot thing. Right. That's a really, really good question. So first of all, being personable is making the adjustment personable. There are so many people who are terrified of getting an adjustment, let alone coming to, even meeting a chiropractor. So putting your adjustments online does make it more approachable. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to get when I see this person. This is what I'm familiar with. So that's a benefit. Probably the negative that, we learned in school is like, don't put it online, was because people will copy you, whether they're an osteopath or a physical therapist, or maybe they're just somebody's brother and they're like, hey, look at this video. Can you do that on me? Now that's obviously bad. But in this, like 2021 into 2022 and beyond, I think we have to put our stuff online because that's what people are looking for.
Yeah. I don't go either way. Like, I still think that, if you're going to produce what it looks like to get adjusted on a video, it's a snapshot of reality.
Right.
But
maybe with the prelude of, this is not the only thing that we do. Okay. We got to this point because of the exam, the consultation, the x-rays, knowing about this person's health versus like, okay, this is all we do in our office.
Well, this is old school philosophy. Like, the adjustment's free. You pay for the person's education.
Right. Yeah.
You pay for the person's assessment. You
Yeah.
pay for the person's ability to read x-rays. You pay for the person's ability to then be a good human to you and to take care of you.
Right.
The adjustment's an extra something.
Plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're paying for the practitioner. The adjustment's the extra something.
Yeah. You're paying for the plan. You're paying for the game plan, basically.
You've made it to Chirohustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is sponsored by Imaging Services, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Moguls, Chiropractic Rocks, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, doTERRA, Sherman College of Chiropractic, New Patients in a Box, the Influencer Authority Podcast Training, and Prime Spine Consulting. Let's hustle. Yeah. I mean, chiropractors are coaches. You guys look at where somebody is, you see how to make improvements, you make recommendations, and then you work on their health game.
Right. Absolutely.
Bingo. And then on the other side, you improve somebody's quality of activities and living, and then they refer their families to you.
Right. I think that's the answer to this. Like, should we be posting it or not? Honestly, I think we should also show the exam, show the x-rays, show,
Exactly.
do an actual interview of the patient so they can say, oh, I did this and this and this before coming to this point, getting to this point.
Because, a lot of times when I do marketing too, like I'm a marketer, and people are like, I see everything you do, but we don't know you. And people are like, we need to know you more. Tell your story more.
Okay.
And I think that that's something also with chiropractic is they have an idea of us and they have an idea of chiropractic, but they need to do the same thing that I've heard 1,000 million times, is keep telling the story.
Right. Exactly. And if you have a cool chiropractic story, tell it. Absolutely. Like, when people come in to my office talking about sports injuries, it's like, oh, okay, I can empathize with you. I know about sports injuries. And they want to know that you are experienced in what they're talking about. So if you have to do that on your video or whatever, or in person, it's like they want that confirmation that they came to the right place.
So I think we're on some really good momentum here. Let's talk about, how do you come up with your content? How do you like to decide like what you're going to be producing for Instagram?
That's a good question. I usually make my content off of things that I'm irritated by. If I'm irritated by, seeing somebody's like horrible anterior head posture, or if I'm irritated by somebody looking down at their phone in the grocery line, then I come home or maybe I just go to my car and make a video about why you shouldn't do that, how you should improve it. And these videos, they have to be like 1 minute. They're longer than 1 minute, then
people check out.
It's gone. It's done already. Yeah, absolutely. I'm irritated when I see somebody with, 3 masks on. So then I make a video about why that's not good for your health.
Yeah. So as you're doing this, see, I come from the other side of it. I'd be like, hey, look, create 100 topics and make a little story for each little 100 topics.
Right.
And then you can start harvesting ideas off those 100 topics.
Mhm,
And then you
mhm.
can start building like a calendar of content for yourself. And now you have a scheduled like strategy, but it
Right.
is cool to be off the cuff too.
And I like that. I like the planned aspect. So maybe like a year ago, when a lot of people were really still working from home, I made a series of content that I would, put out every day. I had it planned, blah, blah, blah. To be honest, it was a lot of work,
It
which
is.
is probably why I went back to the off the cuff thing.
Well, I think a minute too. I like the threshold of a minute.
Mhm.
If you can't be interesting for a minute, then you shouldn't do videos.
Right, right. Good point. That's true. That's the other side. Unfortunately, some people shouldn't make videos.
So you mentioned sports and playing tennis in college, and that drove you to understand more about the physiology of the human body and
Mhm,
chiropractic more specifically. Um, Today's 2021. We're bumping into 2022 in a hot
yep.
minute. What are you doing for your health during this time, and what are you doing to stay healthy?
During this time, I did invest a lot of money into an out-of-pocket functional medicine doctor. I just wanted to be ahead of what potentially could happen, and I definitely am very prepared with my supplement game. I mean, of course, I get adjusted twice a week. I
Nice.
work out. I work out probably 5 times a week. Um, and the consistency is what I'm always preaching to my patients, telling myself, trying to, convey to my parents is it has to be consistent. If you're only going to do it once, then who cares? If you only get your blood drawn once and you don't get it done a second time to compare, who cares? If you only get adjusted once, then you're not going to get the benefit. If you only work out once, there's really no point.
So what do you like to do for workouts?
I do go to a CrossFit gym, and I just started Pilates, which is very nice. That's probably both of those studios and gyms that I go to. That's probably where I get maybe like 50, 60% of my patients.
Okay. Okay. So because people know that you're the go-to chiropractor in that
Right.
community, people just like, hey, you gotta go see Lisel.
Yeah. Like when I walk into class, literally the coach is always like, Doc, anybody needs a chiropractor? She's right here. Like I don't even have to say anything. Sometimes it's kind of funny,
Well,
they don't even call me Lisel anymore. They call me
Doc.
Dr. Lily.
Well, that's the cool thing is you become a beacon to the community.
Right. Right.
And I always, inspire others to think on that level. Like get yourself to where you are a beacon of light within your
Mhm,
community and that people know that when they have somebody that needs what you do, that they should come
mhm.
see you and you should become easily referable.
Right. Easily referable. And it goes back to that personable again. It's like, I want them to know that I'm here. I'm doing the same thing that you're doing. So if you friggin' hurt yourself, then I'm going to understand. But also, I'm here. I'm in your life already. So you might as well come see me in my office because we're going to do a lot more than just chat in my office. And, we were talking about like how you shouldn't be posting videos of you adjusting. It's like, okay, they want to see what you're going to do. And so same thing is like when they meet me in person, it's like they want to see what I'm like. Like, am I total bullshit or am I actually listening? I mean, they already know me.
Yeah. And that's just it is building a practice is building a community.
Right.
And I think that that's what a lot of people have to understand is when you become a chiropractor, that's like you always have that cape on.
Right. That might be the biggest, difference between the chiropractors that I know who are so amazing, but they don't see that many people, and the chiropractors that maybe aren't even that good of a chiropractor, but they see a lot of people. It's like, are you approachable? Do people actually want to see you?
Likability is a huge thing. It is a huge thing.
Mhm.
And then be good at peopling and being able to talk to people and manage a
Mhm.
lot of personalities and a lot of energy when it comes to that vibe. Like
Right.
it takes a special person then to be a good clinician after that.
Absolutely. And it doesn't mean that you're a pushover. It just means that you can handle, okay, when you're busy or when you're stressed and you don't have time to talk or something in your personal life is, bothering you, how do you translate that into your office?
Yes. So let's transition just a little bit here and talk about the profession. I know this is like the crystal ball question, but if you looked into a crystal ball right now, 20 years, what would
Mhm.
the profession of chiropractic look like?
Okay. You and I off camera were talking about that the schools that are out right now, there's the lack of actual chiropractic education and the increase of just like boards ready, textbook ready information. I don't think that's selling. That's not selling the education. People aren't choosing to go to chiropractic school because they want to learn from this textbook. They want to actually learn how to be a chiropractor. And the schools, at least the ones that I'm familiar with, aren't really providing that. So it's very likely that a bunch of those will close or go bankrupt or just completely eliminate their chiropractic program. And then maybe that will open up a door for actual straight chiropractic colleges to open up. And they'll probably be funded by chiropractors and taught by actual chiropractors who have been in practice. Because I know when I was in school, probably the most important classes that we took, they were taught by PhDs and medical doctors or chiropractors that have never been in practice. And I'm sure that it's going more in that direction.
So here's a call to arms. If you're out there and you guys are watching this or you watch this on replay and you wanted to start a chiropractic school, reach out and we'll create a team to do, we'll make that
Okay,
happen.
cool. Good idea.
So let's move a little bit more into you and how you became who you are. Who are some of your influences or maybe some of your heroes that can be within chiropractic or can be outside of chiropractic?
Right. My influences are my mom and dad and my
Amen.
sister. Absolutely. They're number one. Um, I just recently read it's called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, and
I
he
love that
started
book.
Nike. Who knew that his story was so compelling? Yes, he's a good storyteller, but he really went through a lot.
What's a
And
good book?
it's a great book. It's a great book. I quickly adopted him as a hero. Um, I am my own hero, that's for sure. I am very resilient, and I've been through a lot of weird things, and I feel like same with Phil Knight and a lot of other, very the decision making that you have to make on your own, and you can't really rely on other people's advice. That's very important. Thank God I played tennis, and I've been making my own decisions on the court in life for a long time. And I look at myself as, my own hero.
Well, you are a healthcare hero for the people that you take care of.
Thank you.
And I do think that we should be congratulatory about ourselves. And so many people get this like this false sense of humbleness. But yeah, it takes a whole lot to become a doctor. One of my favorite questions for when I interview students is, are you the first doctor in the family? And
Mm-hmm.
and the change in personality shifts so quickly
Mm-hmm.
to wow, I did do that.
Yep, I did it.
And I am that. And when you get like a first year student and you talk to them about why they became what they are, and then you talk to somebody that's done it for 30 years, it's
Mm-hmm.
really
Mm-hmm.
cool to see the in between. Like I still think that a lot of times with chiropractic, people that do it 30 years are just as inspired in 30 years as they were when they
Yeah,
first got out of school
absolutely. Yeah.
because the cause has never changed.
Right, right. And you hope that the cause was a good cause and not just some, last minute idea or something.
So if you could pick one person to talk to for an hour over coffee or lunch, who would it be?
Okay, one person to talk. Dave Chappelle. And I'm sure one day I probably will meet him. I mean, I live in LA. I see these people wandering around all the time. It's like, I'll probably see him at a grocery store.
Actually, do you know Chappelle? He lives in Ohio.
Right. But he's got to travel, of course. They do shows here. They're literally walking around
Right now.
My office is like in one of those areas where it's like, oh, that guy came to my office. He found me online.
I think Dave Chappelle would be fascinating. Maybe we'll get him on Chirohustle one day.
That would be amazing. That would be very funny.
I'm sure he would have some fun stuff to say about chiropractic.
Absolutely.
I wonder if he goes to a chiropractor.
He should. He's all messed up, that's for sure.
What's up, Dave Chappelle? Come see us.
Yeah. We'll refer you to someone in Ohio.
So let's talk about what you do at the office. Share with our audience. This is one of my favorite segments is miracle stories.
Ooh,
Share with us a miracle story that you've seen over the past 5 years, or maybe as a student, something that you've seen as a chiropractor.
Right. Past 5 years, just past few months. So here in LA, the COVID-19 protocols and the lockdowns are, oh my gosh, it's just like day one. And a few months ago, I had a patient come in who had never been to a chiropractor. She had COVID. She had COVID while she was pregnant. And so she gave birth. And then apparently the baby also contracted COVID, which was very sad for both of them. They both got over COVID, thank goodness. But then these lingering effects, she was having chronic migraines every single day. She had Bell's palsy. Her face was drooping. She had tingling into her cheeks. Her taste still wasn't very strong, and she had, yada, yada, all this pain. And she told me that, first of all, she just found our office online, thank God. And second of all, she said after she tested negative for COVID, her medical doctors literally kicked her out. We're like, we can't help you with what you're talking about. They couldn't help her with her face. They couldn't help her with her migraines. And she was a new mom with this baby that she has to take care of. And so thank goodness she came into my office. Her migraines were gone within probably 2 visits. And her Bell's palsy improved after, I would say, about a month, and was completely gone within the month. And now she did her corrective care plan. She's on a supportive care plan, probably her second supportive care plan now. She knows that chiropractic is what is strengthening her immune system. And she knows that chiropractic is what helped her with those symptoms that she was feeling before she ever got COVID. She probably should have been seeing a chiropractor too. But she knows that when she had nowhere to go and when she was getting shunned by her medical doctors, she found a place in chiropractic.
It must be terrifying for somebody to wake up one day and their body's changed like that.
Right. Especially when you're pregnant and you have this baby. It's like, as if that wasn't already a big enough change. Now you have this other change that nobody can really give you answers to.
Yeah. And I think that that's the great thing about chiropractic is it doesn't cure anyone.
Right.
It corrects the interference.
Absolutely.
And when the body fires, right?
Right.
Amazing things happen. We call them miracles. But
right.
It's just what the body wants. It's the way the body's supposed to function.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe if she found us sooner, maybe she would have never had those symptoms to begin with. Maybe she never would have had COVID.
Amen. So at this juncture, is there anything that we didn't ask you that you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, I just want to share that we do have to clarify with people that what we're doing is different than the 100 other chiropractors on your same street. because I talk to people about straight chiropractic and corrective care and preventative care versus the 5 million other chiropractors in LA that are gonna massage you and, give you exercises or something, because they have to know that there's a difference between chiropractic and people who happen to be a chiropractor and do something else.
I couldn't agree with you more. We have to support real deal chiropractic, check, adjust, and correct vertebral subluxations, and get people healthy long term, for the sake of the community and the family,
Right.
and the individual. And
Right.
it creates this great ecosystem where people feel better, they function better, and they have more freedom to do what they like to. There's a quote that I once heard that said, man or woman, if they have their health, they have a million dreams.
Mm.
If they don't, they have one,
Yeah.
and that's to get better.
Good
And
point.
I think that closing out with that, if people want to get in touch with you or learn more about you, Lisel, where can we send them to?
There's good old Instagram. I do actually check my messages and those things. I'm at Dr._Lisel. And then there's always, old school Facebook that works too.
All right. Any websites?
TheLAchiropractor.com.
TheLAchiropractor.com. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for being our guest today on Chirohustle. This
you.
was episode 324, 4 years running strong, doing these shows for the chiropractic profession, keeping free speech alive and protecting the sacred trust and supporting the subluxation-based chiropractor that believes in innate intelligence and universal intelligence. With that being said, thank you so much.
Thank you. Amazing. That was fun.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.